Hey. We have our meeting for October 21st here this afternoon. And with two things on the agenda. And I guess I can just go on to number one. Formal design review for Wicked Waves Cape Cod. Sandbar management. Gonna read all those numbers. Applicant seeks to reconfigure the existing water park by relocating the inflatable water rides to the former Salty's Restaurant property and adding additional permanent water rides and amenities in the current inflatable location in the park. And presenting this is you, sir.
I'll start off and then turn it over.
Okay.
All right.
Singer.
For the record, Andrew Singer, attorney in Dennisport, and actually with us. Why don't we just go down the row? So that's
Kieran Healy, BSC Group.
Patrick Malone, Sandbar Management.
Joe Marama, Sandbar Management.
So this project will be going before site plan review and then the Board of Appeals at some point. It is, as Dick read, to move the inflatable rides over to what is the former Salt property, incorporate that into the park with a berm and a fence, as we've done all along. The new water rides, Pat just brought in this, I don't know, Dick, if you had one, in response to a question from Kathy, what the color will look like. This is the inside look. You'll never see this. This is from the inside, from the street. Above the berm and the fence, you might see the couple peaks. And with that, turn it over to Kieran. That might be the next applicant. Yeah. No, this is not changing the, I should say this doesn't matter for you guys, it does for the ZBA. This isn't increasing occupancy, it's not changing parking, it's just realigning and improving the amenities that are in the park itself.
Okay.
And some of the details, I do have revised plans that show a little bit more detail. There's no real substance change, it's just some detail that we added to make it answer a few questions. As mentioned, I guess if I could have your attention to look at this plan, it'd probably be easier. As mentioned, this section right now is where the inflatable water park is. And we're looking to move this over to where Salty's currently is. On the side of Salty's, we're proposing a emergency access gate and a driveway up along the side that will get into the rear of this structure in front of this one. There is currently a access for fire vehicles to get around the back right here. And we're looking to maintain and keep that operational. This will actually make it easier for them to get out onto Route 28. These would all be inflatable and would come down obviously in winter time. There is a transformer here in this section. Patty, just so you know, I went out to the transformer today and I measured that in. What happened was we had penciled it in just to see, so we wouldn't forget that there was a transformer there. So I measured that in today and it's actually further back than we thought. So it allows us to continue the berm along where the existing one is. In regards to the berm, Route 28 is expected to be widened in the future. But because this is such a small portion of the overall berm that runs along the entire front of the property, we're proposing just to extend this currently until such time as changes are made, and then we will relocate it back. That way we keep the consistency of what's there right now because it does look so good.
I'm just concerned you're going to put all this work and effort and money into it, and then for some reason they're taking, and you need to push the whole berm and the plantings back. That's my concern for you.
That's a good legal question. It's one I spoke about with Pat because apparently that area is listed as a temporary taking as part of the road widening. And I'm not sure if everyone up there realizes that they potentially be having to take out the berm and the fence and the vegetation, having to compensate the owner for that, and then having to replant it afterwards. So depending on how far along the road, we're not sure why they need it. So we were going to follow. Yeah. So it's possible. That's why, as Kieran said, we're proposing it now. Hopefully the temporary is permanent, meaning it doesn't have to come out. But if it does, we'll have to deal with that later.
And the berm right now runs from this section at the main entrance all the way over to here. What we're talking about is just this small section right here, which is less than 100 feet. So in the overall expanse of the berm, this is a small end to the berm itself. So that's pretty much it for this. We will have access through the park. There will be an access way through here. These are all inflatables of varying sizes. The largest one's been approximately 20 by 20, 20 by 30 on the plane, where they do not go up as high as some of the previous ones that are in the back over here. So that's it for the inflatable section. In this section, we're proposing to put in 4 additional water features. The goal is to enhance the experience for the visitors in that we're not looking to add to occupancy. We find that there's a little bit too many lines in certain areas. So we want to add these to try and disperse the crowd throughout the property more, but it's not increasing demand. The occupancy that we have is going to remain the same. The parking is going to remain the same. And
What determines occupancy? You know, what the square footage or number of rides or?
the number of rides and the number of people that can wait at the rides and the amount of parking, primarily the amount of parking that we can provide. If we had more parking, the park could actually take some more with these, but the parking is kind of set the way it is. The site is as big as it is, and it's, you know, so as a result, we are limited in the number of parking. We had gone through the calculations back probably 9-10 years ago when we first started, and it worked out that we seem to be getting the data proved showed that it was about 3.8 people per vehicle for occupancy, and that's just been consistent since day one, and we've never had an issue other than, you know, the queues for some of these are so get demanding in the prime time. So what we're looking to do is allow some of these people to spread out some more so we don't have any issues.
Yeah.
Other than that, I guess I'd be glad to answer any questions, or Andrew, staff. So here, so
Just for, since you guys are new, it's, and you may know this, it's a seasonal use with a very short season, actually, good weather dependent. So, and the water park itself closes at 6, doesn't it? So it's, you know that,
So once this happens, it'll all close
oh, everything will close at 6? Okay.
6 or 7.
6 or 7.
But it won't be 8 o'clock anymore.
Oh,
And the commission was never part of any part of the approval, development or anything?
We have, you're referring to the Cape Cod Commission, and we have been before them in with jurisdictional letters several times at Kathy's request. As the park has grown organically, it's done so just as it's happened over the last 15 years without triggering any DRI thresholds. And this, just so you know, the Salty site is 36,000 square feet. So by definition, you can't have more than 40,000 square foot of new outdoor commercial space because the whole site itself is less than
Right.
40,000. So in this case, again, it doesn't trigger any.
So 15 years, that's how long?
Well, I think it's, how long has it been?
2012.
Oh, okay, 13 years. So yeah,
2012, wow.
I knew we were getting close.
Yeah.
You mentioned peaks of this structure here, but the plan shows the landscape ledge, and I don't know the elevations of it, at 5 feet, and then the top of that peak being 20 feet. So will we see 15 feet this from the street above the berm?
no, the berm itself is about 4 to 5 feet.
Yep.
And there's a 6-foot fence on top of that.
Okay.
So then based on, as you sit in the vehicle, your fence is up here. So when you look up from a vehicle, it keeps going up.
Yep.
And by the time you get to 30 feet back to this, we expect to be very little, if anything at all, visible as you drive up and down the street.
And for reference, someone told me, if you've been around long enough, it's about 10 or 15 feet shorter than the trapezes were
Oh, really? I remember.
in this section.
Really? Okay.
So just to
Yeah.
give you a frame of reference.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. Yeah, okay.
Well,
All right, Joe, yeah.
is there any issue? I noticed that there was that the pond and the new stuff goes down, it looks like 14 feet below the surface. Is there any issue with water table level?
There is water table level there, and we will be dewatering
Okay.
to put in basically it'll be a watertight structure on both sides.
Yeah.
Keep the pool in and keep the groundwater out.
I was gonna say, the only thing that struck me, because I live down by where they're doing all the sewer work, and
yeah.
interestingly, with sewer work being done, none of my neighbors' sump pumps have been going off at all for the last 6 months, and they're usually pumping 24/7. So I thought, oh, well, maybe you're lucking out, you don't have that problem at all.
There is groundwater there, and we do plan to approach it with
Yeah, well,
dewatering.
I figured you already had done it for other things, but that was the only thing that struck me as, possibly an issue. But if you had a problem with that. But my wife assured me that construction could handle it.
Unrelated, but maybe not. Are there plans, similar plans for the other two parcels down there?
You just walked into that one.
The old hotel property?
Yeah.
Hotel properties. We have been before the Board of Appeals 4 times, 3 or 4 times over the last 5, 6 years with proposals to redevelop it. None of them have been acceptable yet. So there is a desire, an urgent desire by the owner to want to get rid of them, but we're still trying to find something that's acceptable to the town.
What has not been
Yeah.
accepted so far?
The last time we proposed a fully conforming commercial lot right here and a non-conforming parcel here that would, A&R plan that would be attached to the park. One of the problems has been, you're on the planning board, so yeah, I think I heard you say, part of this land is registered, part of it's not. And so you can't do a full merge, and it's a condominium over here. And so in the old motel, and so there have been legal issues with being the ability to carve off this lot and attach it legally to this lot because it's registered land. I'm sorry, it's
Yeah.
recorded land, not registered. The lots right now, is this it, Karen?
Yeah, so
So you got 1 lot, 2 lots, 3 lots. And the idea was to make a 25,000 square foot lot here. And then this remainder piece it's being used anyway, as part of the
Right.
park, but it would become part of the park.
I think it'd be a 50,000 square foot lot.
50,000.
So these two would become a 50,000 and then you'd assemble this with the rest of the park. that-
Yeah, part of this would go
Yep.
with the lot. It'd be like this or
Right.
something like that. I can't remember what Karen did. You did something.
I think we held these 2 lines right here. We came back a certain distance.
Yeah, you
We
did.
actually came into this as well and took some of this.
Yep.
So was there a development plan that ZBA didn't like? Was that what you're saying they didn't?
We tried,
Reconfiguration,
It
wasn't
was
it?
just
I think we tried originally
We tried originally to have a building. We were gonna put a building here, which was gonna be a storage building
storage thing.
or a little store.
I think now what we're looking at maybe in the future is 3 smaller buildings for like ice cream
Yeah.
and a few things like that.
Yeah.
And the concern came back to parking in front of the building.
Mhm.
One of the board members had an issue with if these buildings all came out, then the parking would be in this section right here. And would be, in our minds, not be in front of this building, in front of one of the ZBA members' minds.
But we then, the second time we proposed a building here to put the parking behind, but there was a concern about whether that building would be principal or accessory. I think that was the second concern. So it's still in process. It's something we'd like to do. And you're correct. It's not technically part of this application, but it is part of the park.
You had some comments, Kathy, didn't you? Did we hit
Um,
them all? Yeah. Mechanical building?
Yeah, there really wasn't a lot of details on the mechanical building. It's kind of shown in the. Sorry.
Which one is
Single story.
I thought your documentation was excellent. It was-
So 17-foot tall mechanical building, so that 17 feet tall is from the,
Yeah, there's a joke.
It's hard to tell
It's base
exactly
grade,
what's
so-
going on there, because it's just those particular plans, and just one and by the
Is this it?
building here and here, the mechanical storage.
that's the sketch here.
Yeah, and that would be
Yeah.
that would be it. Yep. So there's just really no details on it. My comment, I sent you exactly the comments that I sent to the design committee, Karen. It's just whether there was something that the design review committee would like to.
Can
I
you,
don't think it'll be visible.
yeah, I was
I
gonna say,
don't
can
think
you even
much
see
of it
it?
will be visible.
Yeah, because it's
but-
gonna be below, it's only 17 feet and it's well behind the, so it won't be visible from outside the fence in the berm, but I'm not sure we can do it. No, the pump building, mechanical building.
So this little thing in front here, right? Near the pools.
Yes.
Pat,
Yeah.
The mechanical building's down, the corner to the left, right? It shows as a 655 square foot building.
yeah, right, that's it, Dick, yeah. So it's set, it's tucked in behind the berm, it looks like.
Okay, and you won't see the berm starts here, so you'll see it coming from this direction on 28?
I think it's highly unlikely you'll see it at all based
Okay.
on the height of the berm,
The berm wraps, doesn't it?
Now, the fence wraps.
Oh, the fence
fence wraps.
Well, you do have this building right here, so at the very last minute, you might see some of it, but it the most part, this building right here will block the majority of the view.
And that will service all of the pools in that area.
Is it gonna be a metal structure, metal roof, metal siding, metal?
No. No,
You would do clapboards, shingles,
it'll be consistent with everything else. It's there already, clapboard shingles.
color. We got nothing here.
In the gray, it's gray on every building we have, so I don't think we're gonna differ from that.
This building is not meant to stand out. It's meant.
Exactly.
No bright green and yellow on these.
No red flashing lights? Sorry.
Guess I just,
Good.
the other question was, it's hard to tell from the renderings, and I realize it's renderings, but this is kind of more of a mottled color, not like a solid brown.
Sure, I guess it's supposed to look like, according to that, kind of rockish. color.
Rockish color.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's not like this here. It's not a solid.
Right, it looked funny in the rendering, and I understand renderings are meant to be rudimentary. That's why I just wanted to see what I was.
You guys done with questions?
Yes.
Yep. What's the height of the stonework?
20 feet. This thing. It's
Yeah.
21.
At the top,
At the top.
at the tippy top there.
Okay, and I don't think there's any landscape plan. Are we planning on doing any buffer plantings and buffering the 10-foot strip along to the east there?
Yeah, we
Doesn't show
specifically left the strip on the outside of the driveway. There are there is somewhat vegetated right now. So once we remove the building, it's there, then we're gonna have a better idea what we can put in.
I think you're gonna
Oh,
have to show
okay, yeah, it
something.
looks like it's quite a bit there that you might be able to retain. That you're not taking down. Okay, and. Question. Did we not end up with a buffer on the westerly side too? When we did the parking lots and stuff. Anybody know?
The old parking area used to run pretty close to that, and then the seashells were just put down.
Okay, but it shows essentially no buffer on the westerly side. I'm wondering how that ever happened, to be
I
honest with
think if you look at what was there originally, you had the motel, and I looked at it myself, you had the motel building that was literally like, must have been like 3 feet from there. I don't know whether they are fully permitted for what's shown here. I can't recall how many times you've gone back and forth.
We left the trees.
And yeah, the in-lot trees, and I remember talking about buffer trees. I certainly think that's something that we'll need to talk about in more detail at site
Yeah.
plan review.
you. And that section doesn't have any in-law trees at all, I guess.
Right.
And well, one of the reasons for that is that once we get rid of these two buildings, then the whole parking area is going to be realigned. So the reason we didn't put in the trees in this section is because we do expect it to be completely realigned. That's why the whole thing is just kind of shell with somewhat 5-foot landscape islands, just temporarily put in there until we get this resolved. But the goal is to realign all of this parking right here.
There are the islands, but you're right, it hasn't been, the plantings were not finally done.
And you'll plan,
I'm sorry.
and you'll do the in-lot plan in the event.
Oh, eventually, yes. Oh, 1%, yes.
There was a plan.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is, how do we get that far? If, we don't have any of those plantings and buffers and so forth, and I've seen it back there, it's pretty barren, to put it mildly. And, we always saying this was just not gonna, I mean, that's part of your parking calculations for the water park. And inflatables, and so why was the parking lot not done up in a way that it should have been at that point?
Because we've always brought that particular item forward that we're going to be.
So that's
replacing the
just
buildings.
you're gonna do it when we get rid of the motel units.
Yeah.
And we've been upfront with the Board of Appeals about that. And we've been, as I've said, we've been trying to do the motel units for several years with the Board of Appeals, so.
I think we'll end up with the ZBA for that in the spring later.
Okay.
I just don't think we'll confuse the matter, because anytime we go, it goes to that. Actually going for.
So you're gonna go to the ZBA for the parking in the spring?
Well, and the motels, that's the whole, right? That's what you're
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
So the only motel that'll remain is the big one, the old dock or whatever, like go back far enough.
Correct.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? Kathy, I think, has some other comments.
I guess the only question I had, as you're coming down the street this way, you don't have anything, it seems like you could elevate, have a little berm here with some plantings on here to kind of hide it from this view. And then if you put the screening there, it'll help block it out. When I was looking at Google Earth, and I don't know all their inflatables anymore, but it had a giant pirate ship with an octopus that was like really large. So I don't know, about that. So maybe just a little bit screening on this side and then something here, and then maybe having some of the larger ones be in the rear of the property.
The inflatables are getting smaller too. We're downsizing the size, and I don't think you're gonna see many big things. I don't know if you see anything from the road anymore. But you can do something like that.
What is the red here, Karen?
Just some
Trees.
vegetated buffer. we'll
Okay.
Put in, so let me put in some sort of little berm here just to block this direct line of sight.
All right. I mean, the town, I don't know, we don't know what the town's gonna do with this lot, right? Because you own the one on the other side. They don't want to swap.
Salem.
Time will tell.
Yeah, right.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
We've asked.
Yeah.
Right, because this has frontage down to West Yarmouth Road.
Yeah.
All the way out, yeah.
That would certainly be good for.
Anything else from anybody?
All right, for our newbies. What we do is we go through, and I had sent you the actual siting strategies and building strategies, so you have an idea of them. And we kind of go through and identify whether something's not applicable, whether it meets the standards, or whether it's a discrepancy. You guys are advisory, you're commercial development south of Route 6, so you're advisory, you're not mandatory. But you know that you have to go to the zoning board of appeals, and they typically kind of look at these things. So if you can incorporate some of these comments that the design review committee or site plan review has, it just goes smoother, as you know. So, so streetscape, I mean, there's no proposed public buildings that would help define the streetscape, only rides in a proposed pump house. Utility building for the new water rides located behind the berm. As such, the berm, fencing, and plantings are used to define the streetscape. I think it meets the standard if the proposed berm includes 6-foot fencing and planting similar to the existing berm, including 3-foot caliber trees every 20 feet. You don't really say, show any of that, but I just wanted it to be in writing. I think I have full plans on doing that. And then maybe install a smaller, I'm going to read this and then you guys can discuss. Install a smaller elevated berm with a street tree and screening to the right of the emergency access road. And then I said, and show details on how the transformer will be worked into the berm, but you're saying it doesn't need to be?
Good. It's further back, yep.
You don't need to talk about that. And then just maybe the larger and taller inflatable rides could be located in the rear of the property. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do everything.
Kathy, maybe you can say in the rear or in the interior of the new portion of the property. When you say the property, they're not gonna be back here.
Of the Salties lot?
Yeah,
Yep. no
just so
problem.
everyone knows.
Yep, agreed. I think the berms and the plantings are an integral part of defining the streetscape for the entire park. And I think you need to make sure that any proposed rides or infrastructure that you're locating here takes into consideration what Mass DOT is doing. I would hate you to put something in and then you have access here to the pump building, but you can't get there anymore because you had to move the berm back in order to meet the same screening requirements that you're required to. Mass DOT has a whole right-of-way process. I don't know how much they're responsible for replanting and how much it is a case of them giving you a check and you being responsible for it. That's all something that gets worked out independently. I just want to make sure you're not doing work that gets wasted and wasted. That's all. So I just think you need to take that into consideration, and then you should coordinate with Mass DOT on the latest plans. And then I indicate that they met the street gate.
You have any idea when MassDOT is looking at staff level?
They are almost done with their 75% design plans. They're waiting to do a utility site walk. Will really be hard to coordinate with all the different utilities because it's going to be a multi-day event because it's all from Parker's River all the way into Barnstable on Yarmouth Road. And so what I sent you were preliminary right-of-way plans from like the 25%. They may have been making some changes. As I mentioned, they did have that big gouge that went in, and that was for the bike lane to come over and do the crossing, but that was a crosswalk that doesn't exist anymore. Going to be getting rid of that because you put the new one up further.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of things that can be done. They're removing a lot of your beautiful trees, and I don't know why either. Unless the grades are changing significantly there and they're lowering, I don't understand why they need to take quite so much.
As a temporary easement only too. It's
Well, no, they're taking 7 feet off.
7
the
feet
road.
for the permanent.
Right, but the 7 feet, it looks like the sidewalks on your property.
Oh, yes, there are 3 different things going on. There's 7 foot taking, a 7 foot permanent easement, 7 foot temporary easement. And it gets wider and sharper, that general gist of it, all the way along all 1,200 feet.
But the taking, it looks like the property line right now of the layout is in the gutter line. And then now they want to make sure that the sidewalk will be on. I just think it's really messed up.
No, the gutter line, the rear of the sidewalk is the rear of the current
Is it
limited right of way.
Okay.
So the sidewalk, the new sidewalk will be at
in the,
the current right of way line
Right.
and then go back 7 feet from there, 6 feet from there.
So that's going to have a huge impact.
Are the feds contributing to that project?
I don't think it's fully funded in any way right now. Right now, it's on the tip for multiple years on the local tip. But I think the amount of money has gone up significantly. It started as a resurfacing project and then it turned into an entire corridor with every intersection being done. So it really expanded quite a bit. It might make some sense for them to actually break it into pieces instead of trying to do it all at once, but I just want to make sure that.
We are aware of it.
that-
Yeah, we are aware of it. And
Go ahead.
what we feel is that because this section is so small compared to the overall berm and in the fact that it might take 5-6 years for them to actually start, that we will get the benefit out of this to be consistent with what we have.
I guess my point is that the trees will grow so much more in the 5 or 6 years that it takes. Why not put the berm in the right place and get the 6 years of tree growth?
Because the berms would look silly.
It would
if
just
shot
go-
down.
Yeah. Okay. And like I say, if this gets moved back, you want to make sure that you still have full access to all of this equipment and everything that you need access to.
No, obviously, but that part of it, we have no choice.
Yeah, I mean, the inflatables can move. I mean, that's much. But
Yep.
once you put that structure in, and that's the only way you can get access to the pumps and to the equipment and everything, you want to make sure that that's going to be permanent. Yeah, so I just,
I appreciate it.
yeah, I don't want anybody to get a big, huge surprise. And I don't know how much Mass DOT has been doing
It's up.
with regard to that.
They should be reaching out to you.
That's
should
just to
our-
provide a bike path.
The way they're laying it out, I think it's 11-foot lanes in each direction, 5-foot bike lanes, a 5-foot green space and a 10-foot shared use pathway on the south side and a 5.5-foot sidewalk on.
It's a lot of
And it's
space.
like a 40-foot wide right away most way.
Yeah.
So I can't believe no one's contacted.
No one's contacted.
I didn't even know about this till last night.
Oh, really? All
And-
right,
And I owned the property across the street for 27 years and nobody has contacted me. And obviously I would be all over that if somebody had contacted me.
well, Tom Courier.
Well, I did know about it, but nobody contacted me about it.
I will send out an inquiry to him about when he thinks he's gonna be doing right away. I can't believe they're at 75% and haven't initiated discussions. Maybe they're still in the appraisal process. That takes a long time. They have to do an appraisal and then a review appraisal and then present that to people. So. Tenant space not applicable. You don't have a large building that you want to hide with tenants in the front. Defining the streetscape, I think it meets the standards, but see the comments above under section 1, streetscape, everything we just talked about. And please stop me at any time. Shielding large buildings, I said it meets the standards, although there are no large buildings, the berm helps shield the various rides. Design a second story, not applicable. Use topo to screen development, I think it meets the standards, with that nice berm. Number 7, landscape buffers and screening. I said meets the standard if you provide buffer plantings along the eastern property line of Salties, and the comments included under section 1, streetscape for the section along Route 28. Parking lot visibility, I said not applicable because no new parking is proposed and the existing parking is located to the side and rear. Breaking up large parking lots. I think this is where I put discrepancy, and I think it's what you were talking about. No modifications are being proposed for the parking lot. However, in-lot trees need to be included in the large shelled parking lot to help define the parking space and to break up the larger parking area. Also may need buffer plantings along the western property line adjacent to the parking. And I just said coordinate through site plan review. That, I was hoping that hits your comments. You're okay?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay. Yeah. Locate utilities underground, meeting the standards, everything's underground now and will continue to be underground. It looked like you were realigning something that went through that area. It's all underground. And then shielding loading areas, it's not applicable, having loading areas. Building strategies, very strange circumstance. The only building proposed is the pump house utility building. However, the water slides are surrounded by rock work, which includes a larger massing. But as far as breaking down the building mass into multiple buildings, not applicable. Breaking down into submasses, not applicable. Varying the facade lines. The only building we are talking about really is the
Mechanical building.
yes, and it's slightly over the length required. But again, it's not meant to be seen.
What do you mean length? It's 56 by 21?
I think it's 56. The utility building appears to be 56 without any modulations, as the desire is not to draw attention to the building. It is not, as it is not a streetscape building, leaving a simple, sloped roof or facade. Oh, I'm sorry, the facade lines, they do meet it because you do have those bump outs. I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
thought that it was 70 feet in the B2 and it was 50 feet in the VCOD.
No. It's always been 50 feet. But you have it because if you look at the section, I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong section. You have a little, the stairs come out and then you also have something coming in the front. So I don't have a problem with that meeting the standards.
We don't have a drawing of the building, so we don't know.
What you have is the floor plan. Yeah, and you can see this is the bump out and then it goes in and then it comes back up.
I won't even see that bump.
You won't even see it anyway. So I just indicated meets the standards. And then we can write a comment saying, if you want to add a comment about it. Right, that's what it does.
Right.
So it does have modulations in the building, at least the facade that's quote unquote facing. This is all meant for like an actual streetscape building, so it's a little odd. Varying the wall heights, you have gable ends, varying the roof lines. It's technically a discrepancy because the utility building roof line, I mean, I don't know what's going on with those little buildings that are jutting out. Again, I don't have any problem with the way it is personally, as the desire is not, it said, is not to draw attention to the building, as it's not a streetscape building, and leaving a simple sloped roof would be acceptable.
Like,
Right, but what they're not showing is there are some weird like little bump outs. I don't know what the roof looks like, those little, the staircase, and I'm assuming it might just go all the way down. You're not even gonna see it. So I said the utility building roof line appears to be 56 feet of sloped roof without variations, as the desire is to not draw attention to the building, as it is not a streetscape building. Leaving a simple sloped roof would be acceptable. Does that make sense?
That's the building there. That doesn't show the same floor plan.
No, it doesn't show the pump house. Again, it's a rendering that's showing you basic massing, not really any specific details. Again,
The roof is gonna be asphalt, shingles or architectural shingles or something on that building anyway, so that's all you're gonna probably see over the berm.
right, so I think, it gets down further about using traditional natural building materials. We don't mind if you use hard plank, things that simulate clapboards or things that simulate shingles. We don't have any problem with that. I said meets standards if you use shingles or clapboards on the pump house, gray or neutral colors with an architectural roof shingle medium coloring. I'm fine with that. I think that's what you were gonna do.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be any issues there. And then are we fine with we're fine with that. I think it looks fine. Incorporating pedestrian scale features, not really applicable, and incorporating energy efficient design, just not really applicable to seasonal use of a building. So the next steps would be to go to site plan review. So because these end up being minutes for our meeting, I'm just going to briefly review what was discussed, and then they need to take some votes on some things. Sorry. Okay, Attorney Andrew Single gave a brief overview of the project, noting it would need to go through site plan review and zoning board of appeals. He also provided a photo of rock work and noted that the site is seasonal in nature. Kieran Healy, BSC Group, gave an overview of the revised site plan with the inflatables and access gate road for fire vehicles on the Salties property. Transformer was measured in place and is further back to allow continuity for. Noted the Mass DOT expansion, but we'll follow up with Mass DOT. At this time, they are continuing the berm alignment for continuity. The new water features are additional amenities for users to disperse the crowd throughout the property. Occupancy and parking remains the same, and parking is the limiting factor to occupancy. Peter Slovak asked about the Cape Cod Commission DRI process. Andrew indicated the organic growth of the park has not triggered DRI, and that the Salties property is less than 40,000 square feet. Mr. Slovak further asked about how much of the rock work will be seen. Kieran indicated the berm is 5 feet and 6 foot of fencing, so with the angle from Route 28, we'll have little visibility. Andrew indicated it's going to be about 10 to 15 feet less than the trapeze. Peter Slovak asked about future plans for the old hotel properties. Andrew indicated there's a desire, but still trying to figure out an idea acceptable to ZBA. Peter asked about the mechanical building. Attorney Singer noted it is behind the berm, and Kieran further noting that the motel property would also hide it, and the building is not meant to stand out. Peter Malpass asked about the depth of the pool and water table level. Kieran indicated there is groundwater there and would need to do dewatering during construction and waterproof the pools. Dick Martin asked about the height of the stonework. Andrew indicated about 20 feet to the top. Kieran noted they are planning. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Dick asked about the plantings to the east, and Kieran says there's some vegetation there, but they provide plantings. Mr. Martin asked about the buffer on the west side of the park, and Kieran noted that once the front buildings are removed, the parking lot will be realigned and we'll put in the in-lot trees. Mr. Martin was unclear how he got this far without buffers and in-lot plantings. Parking spaces are part of the park, as parking spaces are part of the parking calculations. Andrew indicated upfront that they've been upfront about this with the zoning board of appeals, and Joe Marama indicated they would be going to the ZBA for the parking in the motel properties in the spring. And then Kathy Williams asked about the potential for berm plantings on the east side of the emergency access and locating the larger inflatables to the rear. And Joe Marama indicated the inflatables are actually getting smaller in size. So I need a motion from someone that these design review comments serve as meeting minutes for the October 21st, 2025 Design Review Committee meeting related to the proposed development of the Wicked Waves Cape Cod at 512, 518, 526, 532, 540.
So moved. I'll get my name in these notes.
Okay, a motion, second.
Motion in a second? Oh, we'll second that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you-
Sorry.
Yeah, well, I just.
Giving you the fisheye.
All right, motion is made, second, any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This portion of it ends at 4.
Thank you all for your time.
You know what happens.
You're gonna print those and sign
Oh,
them
they're
out,
not
you-
pretty enough to print right
Okay.
now.
Then just
Um,
email them to me when they're done, that's
I
fine.
will, and then-
No worries.
I can review.
Yes, I've spoken to Rosa. Emailed the rest of the week, but I've
Yeah.
coordinated with her, so, yes, look, when you get them. We're gonna talk if we get anything on the plans.
I modified these deadlines that I had right there to hold.
Yeah, she just needs, so I've given her the application already, she just needs the revised
Okay.
plans and we're ready to go.
Okay, excellent.
And then we'll file for ZBA, we can.
Good job. Very good.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Kids
Thank you.
must love this place.
And
All right, gentlemen,
two is,
step up to the plate.
design review. Yes.
Yep.
Rob, By and.
Robbie and Eli, yeah.
Is anybody, Tim? Tim didn't want to be promoted. He's just observing. So
Okay.
anybody else?
I saw the bill, the architect was gonna be, but.
Or you. All right.
Let's see if he's.
1308, 28, so Gavin. So map 60, parking and 60, zoning district 3, 1 and B2. As you can see, yeah, additional garage bay and a second story for the building. Gentlemen?
Someone needs to give an overview.
So, yeah, I mean, like, just gonna add a 20 by 46 big garage, and we're gonna have a second floor. And the second floor is gonna be used just for storage. And the reason why, because I mean, the business is growing, we have a busy inspection station.
Yeah.
With everyone closing around us, we are the only one who does inspection. We do around 40 inspection a day. 40 inspection a day, that mean the bay that we use for inspection, we cannot use it for anything else. Just think about if we do 20 minutes or 15, 20 minutes each inspection, how many hours all day? So plus the other business that we have from the repair. So we really need another bay to serve, I mean, the business and everyone else around us. Plus, I mean, the bay that we're gonna build, it's not gonna be just for only like, I mean, under 10,000 pound car, it's gonna be for commercial. No commercial inspection station at all around us. So all the dual rear wheel truck, all the landscaper truck, they cannot do any inspection anywhere. There's
The smaller one, not the.
I mean,
Yeah,
like between 10 and 20,
Small.
26.
Yeah, so
26.
both bays are gonna be inspection.
Yeah, yeah,
To get in and out.
yeah, yeah. So that's what we're doing there. And then if we add in a bay, might as well just get the storage because I mean, we can have anything inside, you know, like with the cars and everything else. So might as well just do the storage on the second floor. So that's basically how it is, you know, we have the site plan with like having parking in the back and, you know, the gas station is an existing gas station. Cars come in, pumping gas and leaving, and same thing with the inspection. They do inspection, everyone leave, no one stay there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And plus the repair, I mean, most of the car get served in this, I mean, repaired in the same day, and everyone leave, like no cars stay like overnight, pretty much. So, and we try to, we had a few options for the elevation, and you know, we came up with one that might be like I mean, likable for everyone, and it's like Cape Cod style, nothing fancy at all. I mean, we're gonna be making pretty much the same color of the clapboard that we have now, and that everyone meet on the back. We didn't have no complaint about that.
Is I'm sorry, the color's gonna be different than the.
No, it's gonna be different. I'm sorry. What you said, the color is gonna be same, matching the existing clapboard.
Which is great.
Gray, I think it's.
So it's not gonna be blue.
No, skateboard gray, I think this one, it's gonna be skateboard gray. And just like everything's basic, you know, like, I mean, you can see like here, like the third bay is gonna be higher bay, so the commercial can, will meet the commercial inspection requirement.
you have thoughts of an apartment or something else upstairs?
Not really, not really. We don't need an apartment and just mostly storage. That's why, no plumbing needing, nothing gonna be needed over there. So whatever it is, we try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
The main thing is the bay. And if we weren't in a bay, we won't even think about the second floor.
Honestly, I
Since
think
we're
we have a
gonna-
picture only for a bay, didn't, I think, did you see it? Didn't
Yeah,
read
yeah,
it right,
yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's why we said, might as well just do the second floor.
I was gonna say, there's nothing built on the Cape in the last 40 years that had enough storage.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. We squeeze everything inside, so now
Yeah.
we have room to, especially for inspection, you have to be have room.
And you can't get permission for a shed, so no, I'm sorry.
And you can't put so much in the shed, You can't put so much in the shed, yeah.
Very good to me.
So, that's pretty much it. We're not changing other than just adding what we had, and if there is any concern, things
Landscaping
to
stay the
make,
same.
yeah.
Is the roadway changing there? DOT changing big enough?
Well, this is the weird part of Route 28 that's 80-foot wide right away. So that island with all that plantings in it is not on your property.
It's not,
No.
no.
Um,
And,
It's hard.
Was a gas cost. Really, increase that buffer, I guess.
J-Mart had the same problem, right? Their renovation, they had to get rid of theirs.
Right, but they were raising and replacing,
Yeah.
so they could move some stuff around. You
see.
guys also have a very small, very odd shaped lot.
yeah, I
You know, that makes it even more a little bit
yeah,
difficult for you.
yeah.
Will you still have enough room to sell cars? on the-
The car business nowadays, it's mostly done online, so it's more you need the location for, and it's not it's a part of our business. It's not we only sell cars over there. So cars always
And we get the space, so we get all the
yeah.
space because we cleared all that piece, so we have
And
the
that's
whole lot now, we
we
get
have the
everything.
whole lot,
back.
so we can
Yeah.
park over
Yeah.
there, yeah.
You sell cars there? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And you're gonna continue to, do that.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
just,
we'd love to
yeah,
keep it, yeah,
yeah.
it will help.
sure, any little thing
Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
Let's see. Enough, Peter.
Nope.
I liked it a lot.
I don't see any real problems. So there's only one stairway to the upstairs outside?
Yeah, because it's gonna be just storage and we're not gonna have any use for that other than this, but again,
Yeah.
I guess there'd be nothing in the you won't drive by and see tires in the windows up there.
No, no.
we don't even tires, we don't even store tires get delivered on the same day or,
Yeah,
we
we don't keep
all,
any
we
tires.
don't need tires, no.
Okay.
No.
So they won't visibly be able to
No.
see mufflers hanging down.
No,
No.
spending all this money, I don't.
That
think so
wasn't
now.
smart from our part to do that. There's always shade that you can use it
Yeah.
if we had,
Yeah.
but we don't do that, no, we don't have.
Okay, I look at. We don't really have any landscape plan yet.
The,
I guess there's no intent to do any additional landscaping
The
on the buffers.
landscaping, there's nothing changing and I some picture on the past and I still have them. This is the thing, that's on the side.
all the buffer is staying, all the trees are there, they staying. we
That's the
didn't-
side where the crosses the road. And that's where that are, there's nothing, that's a tomato plant.
See you.
Yeah.
This side is extremely well vegetated because it's the cemetery and they have a really nice park.
Yeah,
Here, what is it, Basket?
yeah.
Yeah, is there any possibility of maybe a couple?
We
trees?
can, but that's where them, but we have
That's
all
okay.
grass over here
Okay,
and
That's
I
your
do
back.
my vegetable. I
Ah.
can get rid of some, not all of it.
I don't think that far back, go forward, closer, where's the closer to Route 28?
All grass and all planted here on a 28, all planted hydrangeas and
Here,
grass.
here, and here.
Yeah.
It's all planted.
Nice little planting.
Yeah,
here,
I'll show
here,
you.
yeah.
I do have a
There's
picture.
just no,
That's
there's no
the-
buffer trees.
That's all the plant.
Yeah.
the
Oh, on this
hedges.
side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
all the way.
And that's on this side.
Close to the road, I get
Hydrangeas on
all,
east side.
yeah,
I think the
lavender.
hydrangeas on this side, closer to the cemetery?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, that looks really nice.
And
because
I do
you got the
have
overhang.
where my sign is, which,
Here.
yeah, I do have some
We have hydrangeas.
grasses and
so-
hydrangeas on the corner. Yeah.
And there is a few trees here, here and there on this property.
There is,
There is
like,
tree.
on the ambassador side.
On their side, I don't know if they have, I don't remember, I don't think they have anything, but on our side, there is trees here.
Yeah.
There is a few trees here.
Close to
Yeah.
the road.
I didn't know whether there could be another tree.
Yeah, I mean, we can add anything, but I think it's gonna be,
I was concerned about your storage, underground storage. We don't want a tree planting and then causing problems.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Storage.
no.
Well, so be it, I guess. Yeah, wherever you could,
Plants. I wouldn't make you take those out.
no, I mean.
That would be mean.
The
Take my
parking
phone.
it shows on here toward the back, is right up to the lot line. This is what it is, I guess.
don't get rid of my tomato, please.
The what?
Tomato, I wanna keep them.
You can keep the tomatoes.
Little plant.
Oh, okay, where are they, tomatoes?
They're back here.
Yeah.
They're gonna be gone, they're gonna be gone.
No, no, no.
Keep your tomato plant.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
They actually
Okay, I
look
guess
really
I have
good. You
anything
got a
else?
nice little garden going there and it's nice
Yeah.
to see it being used that way.
For years. Years, yeah.
So we're gonna go through the strategies. You're gonna find that on the site plan, you have a lot of discrepancies because you're not doing anything in those relationships
Mhm.
to the site. Again, I wouldn't worry about it. You can only do so much with what you're doing and you're
Mhm.
kind of keeping that all the same.
Mhm.
But also trying to create this really beautiful building and serve an additional need. So, the discrepancies and the streetscape, the building is in addition to an existing building that is not located along the streetscape. This section of Route 28 has an 80-foot wide right of way, and the trees in the island in front of the gas pump canopy are not located on the property. Requiring on-site buffer plantings along Route 28 would impact access around the gas pumps. So it's a discrepancy, but I don't think there's anything that they can do about it.
No.
I try to explain it so people understand why we say discrepancy. Sometimes it's a big discrepancy, sometimes it's just things you can't really do. Tenant space not applicable, defining the streetscape. Discrepancies, again, using those same comments under section 1 streetscape. Shielding a large building not applicable, designing a second story meets standards. Use of topo to screen new development, it's not really applicable in this scenario. Landscape buffers and screening, again, it is a discrepancy. Just because you don't have the required buffer plantings, we would normally require like trees every 20 feet or something, and you don't have those.
Mhm.
So it is a discrepancy. Parking lot visibility, that is a discrepancy because you have some existing parking that remains in front of the building and cannot be relocated to the rear due to the triangular shape of the lot. Breaking up large parking lots, not applicable. Locating utilities underground, I'm assuming you're remaining overhead. Are you undergrounding your electrical utilities to the building or you continue to,
I mean, it's gonna stay the same
okay,
way.
so it's
Yeah,
overhead?
yeah.
Okay, so that's a discrepancy
Yeah.
because the overhead utilities
Yeah.
are to remain. Shielding loading areas not applicable. I think the building design strategies, this building actually makes sense in some of our building design strategies. Breaking down into multiple buildings, it's not applicable. Submass is not really applicable. Varying the facade lines. Technically, it's a discrepancy because the proposed front facade is about 62 feet long without modulation, slightly over the 50-foot maximum length. However, the covered entrance to the customer area and the garage doors of varying size help to break the building into defined sections.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. Varying wall heights, you're doing that. You got the gable ends, varying roof lines. Again, you got the different roof elements going on there, meets the standard. Bringing the building edges down, I think you meet the standards. The horizontal boards really help to define the building edges and also with the entrance overhang. you know, it's like with buildings, there's these little details that make a lot, your architect
Yeah.
was really smart.
Yeah, like all these lines.
Yes, the
Yeah,
horizontal
yeah,
band,
yeah,
and using,
yeah,
and the,
yeah,
just the
yeah.
width of the
Definitely,
porch
like
that he
just
used.
one like and
Right, and then even
One.
that the super thin trim, that's unique, that
Mhm,
made it look really
mhm,
methodical, I loved
mhm.
it, I thought it was a great little embellishment that goes a long way. Varying building materials for depth, I think you meet the standards, you have different building materials around the building, but along the front, it's the same. Sometimes people would consider having, having like shingles on the gable ends that face Route 28. You could consider that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just said could consider shingles at the gable ends visible from Route 28. And then I just said confirm the color, and the color will be Cape Cod gray.
Yep.
The shingles will look better with that.
Yeah.
Use of traditional or natural building materials meets the standards. Again, they don't need to be actual wood, but they need to simulate the shingles and the clapboards, and you're doing that. Incorporate pedestrian scaled features meets the standards. You have that nice overhang over the main entrance. It looks like you might even be doing some stonework along.
And
On the bottom.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice
Yeah.
little detail again.
All the way out back.
Oh, that would look nice too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice detail. And then incorporating energy efficient design, you're gonna have to meet all the
Yeah.
energy code and all that
Definitely,
stuff, so meets the standards, and the next step would be to go to site plan review. So, let me just do a quick review of comments and then you can vote. And I'll get these to you once I clean them up and put, you know, actual sentences together. So Robbie noted the need for the additional bay for the increasing number of inspections plus the business repairs. Inspections for small commercial vehicles. The second floor will be for storage. Existing gas station and with existing parking spaces will. Oh, just noting that there's an existing gas station and the existing parking spaces would remain. The building siding will be Cape Cod gray, not the blue in the rendering, and Robbie further noted that the taller bay door will be for the commercial vehicles. Peter Slovak asked about whether they were interested in an apartment on the second floor. Robbie said no, really wants the bay for commercial vehicle inspections, but having the second floor for storage. Peter asked about the planting buffers. Kathy Williams noted that the 80-foot right-of-way and planting is not on the property, difficult with the size and shape of the lot. Mr. Slovak asked about car sales, which they will continue to do mostly online. And then Peter asked about the visibility of the storage area through the windows, and both Robbie and Eli indicated they wouldn't be doing that. Peter Malpass noted that he liked the building a lot, which I concur as well. Dick Martin asked about the single staircase. Robbie said it was just for storage, and Mr. Martin asked if there's no proposed changes or additions to the landscaping. And then Eli reviewed the existing plantings on the property.
All right, very good.
All right.
Anything else from anybody?
So we're looking for a motion to approve these design review comments as meeting minutes for the October 21st, 2025 Design Review Committee meeting for the proposed building expansion at 1308 Route 28.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
And aye.
You got one more vote.
Okay.
So before we end the meeting, I will prepare, I'll write this all out and I send it to you. And then there's a little box on the, I don't know why this is, it's always been this way and I don't know why. There's a little box in the back that just says you received it and you signed it and send it back to me. And then I clock this all in as the meeting minutes.
Pretty good.
So I do need a motion. If there's no other further questions, to adjourn the October 21st, 2025 Design Review Committee meeting at 5:01.
Well moved.
Okay,
Second.
seconded. All in favor? Aye, aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye,
aye.
aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate
Keep up
it.
the good work.
Good night.
Thank you.
When do you think you'll be able to get started?
I mean, once we find from all the other boards, you know, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah, right.
Yeah, you know, hopefully we can start sometime